Assemble on the AstroTurf at the front of this building until instructed that the alarm is over. If you have a mobile phone, please could you turn it to silent or off now. Whilst you might wish to take photographs or film your child receiving an award, we would like to remind you that photographs of other people's and children should not be uploaded onto social media without consent first. Official photos for prize winners will be taken in the Genesis Library at the end of the ceremony, and these will be available via QE website from next week. There will be opportunities to take photographs outside afterwards. After the ceremony today, we warmly invite you to join some light refreshments in the marquee that you passed on your way into school. And so, let's start the official proceedings. In a few moments, we'll hear from Tim Head playing At the Circus, and then please stand for the platform party. All that remains is for me to say, have a fabulous and enjoyable speech day, and I wish you a wonderful summer holiday.
Sir Gary Verity, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, staff members, but most importantly, students of Chapter House and King's Magna. Every year I find it an honour to be standing here speaking to you in my capacity of chair of the board. This year you may have noticed some more small changes that we have made as we continuously try to improve things. A marquee to host our great British picnic lunch, a new style prize giving booklet, and for me not to have to try and hold a hat during a speech during speech day. However, the most obvious one must be that we are here today as Chapter House and King's Magna as one. And what a sight it is. Our junior and middle school are such an integral part of our QE community, and I note that Mr. Turner and Mrs. Kilkenny are going to have a challenge on their hands to encompass one academic year into just one morning. My parents have always taught me to say my thank yous, and there are many to be made today. Firstly, thank you to my fellow board members, Chris Hall, Jackie Hales, Lawrence McKell, Karen Housley, and Matthew Adhead for their support, insight, and hard work during the year. It is invaluable. Secondly, my hearty thanks go to Karen Kilkenny, Stephen Turner, and their brilliant teams of staff, both in school and in the boarding house. There is a great buzz amongst the staff teams across the two schools, and you can see the enthusiasm and passion that they bring to their roles to make life here for our students the best it can be. They work hard, whilst maintaining a dose of common sense alongside a sense of humour, ensuring that the work hard, play hard balance is achieved. My thanks also go to the many teams who work behind the scenes in supporting the day-to-day running of our school. Our estates, IT, catering, housekeeping and office staff for the work that they do to ensure that we are all looked after to a very high standard. It's been a fantastic year for celebrating long-term service awards this year, with regular presentations filling up my calendar. Across our estate this academic year alone, 38 staff members received their Eagle for 7 years of service. A further 31 received their Amethyst Eagle for 10 years, 4 received their Sapphire for 15, and 1 member of Chapter House staff achieved their Emerald Award for 25 years. This means we have now reached a record total of 202 of our staff members who are proud owners of their Eagle Awards. The loyalty, commitment and dedication that our staff contribute to our students, our collegiate and our estate is extensive. This is shown across the board by staff who have yet to receive their first Eagle to those on the highest milestone to date of 32 years. Please join me in showing our appreciation of everything that our teams do to support us. Whenever I go into Chapter House, I always find it such a warm, happy and welcoming school, and I'm sure you will agree. It's the place in which children gain a sound academic base and first form strong relationships with fellow pupils and teachers. Staff are focused on equipping them with the means to learn, explore and develop their ideas. The new outdoor learning and discovery area has made a difference to the way which lessons are delivered this year, something which the children so evidently enjoy. The internal refurbishment also meant that children have benefited from a more vibrant and flexible learning space. But learning is not confined to on campus, of course, and I know that staff have enjoyed taking the pupils out on many educational visits designed to capture their imagination and widen their wonder for the world. Students enter King's Magna as young independent learners with a strong grounding in key subjects, and I'm sure they feel equal parts excited and trepidatious about the new challenges and opportunities in front of them. What they find is a happy, caring and supportive place in which they are guided to become more independent, academically and socially. Sharing many facilities with the senior schools, they benefit from a wide and varied programme of activities, but within the safety of an environment that they are able to grow in confidence. Students are taught by primary school specialists from a curriculum designed by secondary school teachers. This is to ensure they feel well equipped, confident in their skills and abilities before moving to Key Stage 4. Importantly, every teacher in every year is working hard every day to make sure that the learning experience is as practical and enjoyable as possible for all of our students. If we are going to create lifelong independent learners, then instilling the joy of learning is key. Our capital investment in our campus continues at a rapid pace. Last summer saw a full refurbishment of Chapter House. 8 weeks of intensive work saw a huge transformation, with the final few days like a scene from Challenge Annika. Additional landscaping works benefited King's Magna and QE, so that the long walk-round playground was no more. Our estates team have completed a new photography darkroom, refurbished boarding house common rooms, and this summer we'll see a secondary catering facility for court apartments being completed, alongside estate storage facilities at the back of campus. Sadly, I have to confirm that the storage facility is not a golf driving range, as I have already been asked several times. As different areas of the campus are becoming, dare I say it, finished, it really is fantastic to see the jigsaw come together. Our financial stability means that we're able to continue planning our capital investment moving forwards, and scribbling across site plans and building plans is one of my favourite pastimes. I am not one to promise anything before we can deliver it, but I can assure you we have some great projects in the pipeline. Across the year, I attend many events, and every time I am in awe of how considerate and confident our students are. It can vary from the smallest things to something far more noticeable. During the Chapter House public speaking event, one of our students in Year 1, Samuel, included singing the school song in his speech. When he stumbled just the smallest amount, the entire of Chapter House joined in to help him finish the song. Samuel, you did yourself proud that day. I have the utmost respect for anyone who stands up to speak or perform in front of a crowd. Don't worry, I won't sing. At the House Music and Drama event, when the winners were announced for each house, there were celebratory pats on the backs to the winners from all contestants. There was no prompting required. In the Year 5 assembly, our students reviewed what Chapter House had taught them, what they found challenging, and what their funniest moments were. To be told at the end of the assembly that they had written it all themselves without being guided by the teachers, it was really a heartwarming moment. They had highlighted that everyone was kind to everyone, that they learnt independence and positivity, and that Mr. Campbell tells the best, or should I say the worst, jokes. Our Year 6 students again persuaded me to part with my money by investing in the Young Enterprise Scheme. At the end of their 3-week experience, having made over £350 from just £50 investment, the students talked about how they had to adapt their ideas, change their team names, and overcome other hurdles that they faced. All real-life experiences, and when I asked one of them how they dealt with it, I was told, "Sometimes you've just got to deal with it and move on, miss." There's never a truer word said, and they will without doubt, will go far. In King's Magna, I have met with students at school council meetings, feedback sessions on a proposed refurbishment of Abbey Chambers, and 4 in a row sports celebrations. Our students are not backwards in coming forwards and are able to express in a fair and considered manner their opinions on what they feel that we do well and what we are able to improve. It is hearing this feedback myself that gives me plenty to think about, and I enjoy seeing what we can accommodate and what we can improve on. During their time with us, they are learning skills of independence, resilience, teamwork, and curiosity, and we are fortunate enough to see these skills reflected in daily life around the campus, whether that be in the classroom, on the sports pitch, or in the boarding house. Our students themselves help us to set the bar, and then they help us to raise it. We have a clear vision, financial stability, and a team who are determined to always strive for more. The future is incredibly positive and exciting. I would like to wish the best of luck to our Year 5 and our Year 9 students as they move on to their next chapters, and a very happy and fun-filled summer holiday to the rest of you. Finally, I would like to thank you, our parents, guardians, and grandparents, those of who make personal sacrifices to allow your children to have the array of opportunities here at QE. You have a choice, and I would like to thank you for choosing us. I can assure you we are 100% committed to ensuring we deliver the very best for your children. Thank you.
Verity, Miss Martin, honoured guests, parents, staff, and most importantly, pupils of Chapter House and King's Magna. It has been an extremely busy and exciting year for Chapter House and King's Magna, with staff working to increase the students' independence and enthusiasm for learning at every opportunity. When we returned in September, the children and staff were amazed by how the renovations had transformed Chapter House. The new outdoor areas were a great success and completely changed how the children interacted with each other. Promethean boards, now in every classroom, have enhanced the lessons further, allowing more ICT in the curriculum. One of the major changes was the new early years department. The environment now helps the children settle more quickly and has enabled staff to successfully implement planning in the moment. I would personally like to thank Miss Martin and all of the estate staff involved in the renovations for trusting in our ideas and working hard to ensure it was completed for the start of the academic year. Through planning in the moment teaching, the children in foundation stage have steered their learning very much around investigative work. Early in the year, one of the children asked the question, "I wonder how electricity gets into electric cars from one of the pylons." Always happy to meet with the challenge, Miss Soames and Mrs Schofield asked the QE Science Department to help by coming and talking to the children about circuits. A-level physicists paid them a visit along with their electricity box, which the children then used to make circuits that involved bulbs, switches and buzzers. Led by Dr Walker and Mrs Clark, Chapter House staff were proud to be awarded the Primary Science Quality Mark in September. Not to be outdone, Mrs Young and Miss Slammon, who coordinate Chapter House Literacy and Numeracy, worked with staff to ensure that we were awarded the Primary Quality Mark for Literacy and Numeracy in March. These quality marks are national programmes which celebrate excellent practice and commitment to continued improvement and development. They reflect the high standard of teaching and the delivery of inspiring lessons within Chapter House. Children's enthusiasm for and knowledge of topics is increased through the many activities within the school, educational visits and visitors. Following our fabulous boot challenge last year, the foundation stage again teamed up with RAF Dishforth, but this year were given tyres that needed to be decorated. The children put on their thinking caps and came up with a teapot and a cup and saucer design that could be filled with flowers. With the help of the estate staff, the design was successfully constructed and officers from Dishforth came to collect the tyres to be used to decorate the town on the May Day Bank Holiday Freedom of Boroughbridge Parade. In Year 1, there have been visits to the Yorkshire Arboretum at Castle Howard for outdoor maths and traditional tales, and to Rainbow Ceramics with Year 2 to paint an African-themed plate. March and April saw the children completing science-based trips to Nuzlets, a local animal charity, to learn about the needs of animals and look at different plants and trees. During the autumn term, Year 2 had the pleasure of a private tour around Ripley Castle, linking their castle topic to a local study. In the summer term, as part of the Global Gardens topic, the children visited Harlow Carr, where they planted seeds and looked at the beautiful gardens. Through a hands-on visit to York Minster and the Dig, the Year 3 children learnt about York through the ages, with further focus on what life was like as a Tudor, with a visit to Barley Hall. The final visit of the year to Whitby gave the children the opportunity to sketch the Abbey and work on their directional language and skills, as well as a paddle in the sea. Year 4 visited York Chocolate Story to learn about the history of chocolate and making and tasting chocolate, and Eureka to learn about the different bodily systems, including the digestive system. The final visit of the year to the National Railway Museum enhanced the inventors and inventions topic. Year 5 have greatly enjoyed their visits out of school, including the much anticipated 3-day residential at High Adventure, where they challenged themselves to try new outdoor activities. It was for many of the children an opportunity for them to become more independent, and by the end of the residential their confidence shone. The camp instructors struggled to choose a star of the week, as so many candidates showed just what a credit to their school the year group have been. In addition, Year 5 were fortunate enough to be visited by the highly regarded Yellow Brick Road Workshop Company, who took the children back to ancient Greece through a day of drama and literacy activities designed to deepen their understanding of the fascinating history and geography of the time. To inspire the pupils, they attended a series of career talks this year, given by figures such as an elite sports director, a scientist, a teacher, an airline pilot, and a lawyer. Through raising money for their house charities, the children learn how to be more responsible and caring towards others. Charity events have included collections at concerts, cake sales, non-uniform days, and sports-related activities. Race for Life in the summer term raised over £2,100 for Cancer Research UK by Chapter House alone, and saw staff and children running up to 2.5 kilometres with support from QE sports leaders. A fabulous total of £4,000 has been raised for charities by Chapter House children this year. Well done, everyone. This year, Chapter House have had teams representing 9 different sports. During the year, every boy in years 3 to 5 has had the opportunity to represent the school in competitive fixtures in rugby, football and cricket. All of the year 3 and 4 girls and 85% of the year 5 girls have represented the school teams within hockey, netball, athletics and rounders teams. The teams have recorded some impressive results, particularly the year 5 football team, who won the great majority of their fixtures, the under-9 football team, who won the plate at the ISA North of England football tournament, and the year 3 girls, who won all of their rounders matches. Highlights of the year have included the year 5s enjoying a 2-day camping and cricket tour, and the year 5 girls and boys athletic teams both finishing 3rd in the North of England athletics, competing against 26 other schools. Due to their excellent performances in the ISA athletics, several children represented the North of England team in the national finals at the Alexander Stadium in Birmingham this week. Top performances on the day included Molly Place, who finished 6th with a long jump of 3.25 metres, and Joshua Tynham, who came 3rd in the high jump. There have been notable individual achievements too. In football, Samuel Hartrath-Shute has continued to play for the York City Academy, and Joshua Tynham has recently been selected for the Yorkshire Under-10s cricket team. To be identified as one of the best 12 cricket players in the county for his age is a fantastic achievement. For aspiring to excellence in their chosen sports, I would like to invite both boys to the stage to receive their Never Give Up Learn certificates. It has been lovely to see the children involved in so many extracurricular activities this year. Well done to Lara and Jack from Year 5, who went to the McDougall's Young Baking Team of the Year competition in July and came home champions. The judges were impressed with how well they worked as a pair to support each other in creating their delicious QE mess creations. We always love to hear what the children do out of school and award many certificates in assemblies for martial arts, swimming, music, to name just a few. I would like to give a special mention to 2 children today. Their passion for acting has embodied the never give up aspect of the Collegiates Learn policy. There have been some disappointments following unsuccessful auditions, but their perseverance has led them to performing on TV and in stage shows, including at the Shaftesbury Theatre in London, and winning contracts with Allen & Able, a top acting agency in London. For having resilience and challenging themselves to be the best that they can with the gifts that they have, I would like to invite Cole and Bastian Fuentes to the stage to receive their Never Give Up Learn certificates. Creative Arts Department continued the Widening Opportunities Initiative with all children in years 2 to 5 learning instruments in music this year, including the recorder, violin, clarinet, ukulele and trumpet. Year 5 took part in the Young Voices concert at Sheffield Arena with thousands of other school children. They sang beautifully and performed some great dance moves too. The Key Stage 2 choir participated in the Community Christmas Choir concert in Boroughbridge and in the QE Choir Festival alongside the other collegiate choirs in April. We were very proud of how confidently the children presented themselves at this occasion. They looked and sounded very professional. I would now like to invite a quartet to the stage to give a taste of some of the fantastic singing talent in Chapter House and King's Magna. Please welcome Marcy, Manuela, Grace and Eden singing For Just a Little While.
For just a little while we were here together. For just a little while we were side by side. And I know someday that we will reflect on this and see what a special time it was. For just a little while we have joined our voices. For just a little while we made a difference here. And I know that through it all, these are days we will recall. What a special time it was. For just a little while. Maybe someday, when we're all alone, maybe someday, out there on our own, we'll remember this time and we'll smile for just a little while. For just a little while, we have shared the music. For just a little while, we have shared a dream, shared a dream. And I know that in my heart, we will never be apart. What a special time it was. For just a little while. Maybe someday, when we're all alone, maybe someday, out there on our own, we'll remember this time and we'll smile for just a little while. For just a little while, just a little while, just a little while. What a special time it was.
Thank you very much, girls. What superb talent. It's also been a very busy and exciting year in King's Magna. We focused our attention this year on high academic expectations, providing a consistent, engaging and challenging experience for all of our learners. In English, Shakespeare continues to be a dominant force in literature. And this year we were lucky to secure the services of professional actors from Blue Sky Theatre Company for a whole week in April. All pupils in Year 6 also studied some of Shakespeare's plays, and they showed great commitment to learning very difficult lines for their final performances. We entered a team from Key Stage 3 into the Battle of the Books competition in York, where they achieved a very commendable runners-up position. Our creative writing competition in the autumn term was won by Hannah McQuare for her piece entitled Liberation, and we were absolutely delighted by the news in January that Britcha Gurung in Year 7 had won the Independent Schools Association National Essay Writing Competition with her wonderful piece, A World Without Colour. Along with winning this prestigious award, Britcha has won £100 worth of vouchers to spend in a theatre performance. And we would like to invite Britcha up onto stage to collect her certificate. Well done. The highlight of the year in modern foreign languages was the eagerly anticipated Eurofest challenge. Pupils in Year 8 pitched business ideas in French, German or Spanish to visitors to their exhibitions, using creative approaches to marketing their products in their chosen language. And then from the internal event, we took 14 of our best students to the University of York for the regional competition. We won an incredible 6 prizes. Most creative stall, best trade stall were among some of them, but also the coveted overall prize for best school. There have been yet more opportunities for pupils to practice their entrepreneurial skills this year, with Year 6 pupils taking part in a Young Enterprise project, with business mentors from JWP Careers Chartered Accountants. The final selling day took place last week, with £367 being raised for the school charities. The winning team, Sweet Tooth, grew a £5 investment into £50.50 of profit. And Robert Smith won the Best Business Manager Award. In creative arts, the academic year began with great excitement, with the news that our whole school production would be Jesus Christ Superstar. The shows were a great success. Students performed to packed audiences in the King's Theatre at the end of November. Elsewhere in creative arts, pupils participated in a house drama competition with performances directed by our sixth form drama students. Our judge for the evening was a scriptwriter from Channel 4, with the group competition being won by Laminge with their version of Roald Dahl's Jack and the Beanstalk, and Tegan Bell won the solo competition for her part in Phil Jameson's Believe It or Not. Years 8 and 9 once again achieved outstanding results in the Oxford University Computing Challenge, and we entered 3 teams into the BAFTA Young Game Designers Award, with notable contributions by Rhys Perry and Ben Spink, who produced outstanding quality work and showed exceptional project management skills. In humanities, Year 6 particularly enjoyed their World War II topic, which had cross-curricular themes, which included building models of an Anderson shelter, debating, creative writing, and a visit to the West Yorkshire Playhouse to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Having studied topography in the autumn term, Year 7 geographers created their own contour models, which turned into a fiercely fought competition won by Rhys Perry. Our Year 7 historians took part in various competitions, with Ashwin Tamang winning the castle building competition, and Katie Wainwright the totem pole competition. And outside the classroom, the curriculum was supported by visits to Eden Camp, Robin Hood's Bay, Malham and York. We continue to be a centre of excellence in mathematics at Queen Ethelburgers. And this year, our teams entered the Primary and Junior Mathematics Challenge. The Junior Mathematics Challenge is aimed at the best mathematicians in the country from Year 8 and below. And in King's Magna, we had a total of 20 pupils who achieved commendations, with 4 of our Year 6 pupils, George Perry, Omi Tamang, James Homer and Mark Jandrell, all earning certificates. Our best in school was a Gold Award-winning Suash Ray, who's still only in Year 7. And we would like to welcome Suash up onto stage to receive his certificate for his outstanding contribution to mathematics. So in music, we've seen amazing performances this year, which included the band of the Royal Armoured Corps during the autumn term who visited, and our King's Magna musicians were very lucky to have the opportunity to participate in workshops which they led during the day. We also saw the introduction of our house music competition in the spring term, which was won by a vocal piece by Erin Kelly. The creative arts highlight of the year for many of our pupils is the annual gym and dance display, which this year featured 27 acts and performances from over 100 pupils from years 6 to 9, and it was sold out over 3 evenings. Many of the performers were also lucky enough to work with Strictly Come Dancing's Gorka and Diane on the Saturday afternoon and choreographed a routine for the final show. Without doubt, this year has been our most successful ever in sport in King's Magna. In the autumn term, the under-11 rugby team made it through to the Independent Schools National Final and were narrowly beaten in the close final game. In hockey, our under-12 girls were regional finalists, and 4 of our other hockey teams went to the ISA National Finals at the Olympic Park in London. In football, our under-13 girls team are ISI North of England champions, and we wish them luck as they go on to compete in the national finals at St George's Park next week. Elsewhere in football, our under-14 boys won the ISA North of England 8-a-side competition, and 2 members of the team, Miles Jackson and Mario De Matos, are going on to represent the ISFA England team at under-15 level in their training camp in August. In swimming, 2 of our teams were ISA North of England champions, and as a result of this, Robert Roden and Sophie Hamilton went on to represent the North of England at the national finals at the Olympic Stadium in London. This term has also been a huge success in rounders, where our under-13 team were ISA North of England runners-up, and 2 of our cricketers, Rhys Ditter and Tom Wood, have represented Yorkshire. Athletics has been a real highlight of the year, with our junior boys being ISA North of England runners-up, and all of our other athletics teams were crowned ISA North of England athletics champions. The success resulted in 15 King's Magna pupils going on to represent the North of England in the national finals in Birmingham earlier this week. Top performances on the day included Kean Senior, who won a gold medal as part of the North of England relay team, and there were silver medals for James Paisley in the discus and Jaden Jeffrey in the 75-metre hurdles. With a total of 16 medals for the collegiate, it was a huge success. And we have 2 national champions. So I'd like to welcome our 2 Independent Schools Association national champions up onto the stage. Winning gold medal in the 100 metres, Keziah Bear, and the 200 metres, winning gold, Tom Wood. Yes, we're national champions. It has been quite a year in sports for Kings Magna. Thank you, and well done to everybody who's taken part in a sporting team this year. Our co-curriculum programme extends well beyond sport, though, in the creative arts, and this year we've had 89 activities offered to Kings Magna students during the autumn term. Reflecting on a real breadth of interest, popular clubs have ranged from traditional team sports to Warhammer, baking, creative cooking, cheerleading, climbing, parkour, and the martial arts. In Year 6, we've piloted an enrichment awards scheme that rewards participation in a broad range of co-curricular activities during the year. Our enrichment leadership team have reviewed the portfolios over the last few weeks, and we would like to welcome Frances Opoku Botamar onto the stage to collect her certificate for her outstanding commitment to co-curricular activities. The co-curricular team this year have also organised our widest range of trips and visits, with highlights being the poignant remembrance visit to London, the CTF overseas visit and exercise to Cyprus, ski trip to Austria, diving to Gozo, and 2 volunteering trips, one to complete conservation work in Thailand and one volunteering visit to a working ranch in Australia. Looking forward to next year, there will be a wide range of trips available to our pupils, including more weekend activities and visits right here in the UK. As part of our outreach programme, we have strengthened our partnership with Knaresborough Rotary Club, including the planting of crocus bulbs at the entrance to the school, raising awareness for polio. And we have supported over 20 different charities this year, including our 4 nominated charities for our academic houses, which were the Parkinson's Trust, Rhino Orphanage, the epilepsy charity the Daisy Garland, and Martin House Children's Hospital. In June, all our pupils took part in the Race for Life as part of our Cancer Awareness Week. And this year, we have raised a total of £17,000 for charity. It's thanks to the dedication and enthusiasm of the staff in Chapter House and Kings Magna that the students become such independent, confident learners. But of course, the most important people within our schools are the students. Your efforts this year have made your teachers so proud of you, and you really have strived to be the best that you can with the gifts that you have.
Dear honoured guests, parents and students, when I was first asked to write this speech, I was a little nervous. I have never written one before. In the beginning, I found it very difficult to do. It became easier with time. I found that applying a growth mindset made it a little easier. This is something Chapter House has taught me and is all about not giving up in any way. Both Charles, the Chapter House head boy, and myself joined the school in Year 2. We've both learnt a lot in our time at Chapter House and have some fabulous memories. The privilege of being head girl has been amazing. I am proud and lucky to have been given this position. During my time as head girl, I have learnt and achieved lots of things. Having this experience has been great, but some things have been a challenge. For example, at the beginning of the year, I felt nervous standing up in front of big crowds. Thankfully today, I feel a lot more confident. My most memorable highlight of all time was hearing Mrs. Kilkenny read out my name last June when the head girl was announced. I was surprised and shocked about getting this very important role. I didn't know what to do or say. My mum was extremely pleased because she had been head girl at her school. Spending time with my friends has to be the second best highlight of the last year. Whether we're in lessons together or out on school trips, my friends are the best. They know how to support each other, celebrate each other's achievements, and look out for each other too. Finally, High Adventure. This was the best residential trip I've ever been on. We've had many brilliant days and it was amazing, especially jumping into a cold reservoir. My favourite activity at High Adventure would have to be the labyrinth, because I love small spaces and mazes. The only thing was I kept hitting my head on the roof because we were crawling and the roof was extremely low. The funniest and trickiest part of the labyrinth when I had to keep pushing myself up a really small ramp. Overall, I have gained confidence from all the school trips I have done in Chapter House. I couldn't have done any of that without my friends. As head girl, I have gained the skill of perseverance. I've also learned how to be patient. Mrs. Young has taught me to be positive, independent, have a healthy attitude about all that I do in developing my growth mindset. My advice for the new prefects is to put yourself forward to do jobs and seize opportunities offered to you, as you may only got offered once. Also, be seen to be a good role model rather than scared. Try to appear confident even if you don't feel like it on the inside. This way, people look up to you and one day will want to be like you. I'd like to hand over to Charles now so he can hear his highlights and what he has learnt in his time in Chapter House.
My time at Chapter House has taught me the most essential skill of all, confidence. It all started when I was 7 years old, turning 8. I was a shy boy, too anxious to put my hand up in the fear I would be proven incorrect. However, my mum, my dad, and my teacher at the time, Mr. Clayton, all enthusiastically encouraged me to have just one go. So, I did. I stepped out of my comfort zone and one day I volunteered for the House Public Speaking event with the impressive question, should space exploration be funded by the government? It took a while to put my hand up, but that didn't hold me back and I actually won it. At first I was dumbfounded at the news, trying to process my thoughts, but I got over the shock. From then on, I kept on putting my hand up, and some might remember when I won the same house competition this year. Nothing stops me now. One of my highlights of being a head boy is delivering a reading to hundreds of people in a vast cathedral in Ripon. When I walked up those stairs, my legs were trembling with fear. I couldn't believe that what I was doing was happening. However, one side of my brain was saying, get on with it. The best part of Chapter House was when I stood on the 15-metre tall leap of faith at High Adventure, praying I'd be okay. None of these moments would have happened at Chapter House if it wasn't for the outstanding staff and students. All the staff work extremely hard to make this content, so I'd like to send a huge thank you to every single one of them. Secondly, I would like to deliver an enormous thank you to all the students who have helped me along the way, especially my closest friends. This message is based on the school motto, Chapter House has shown me the gifts that I have, and using them, I will go into King's Magna being the best that I can. Thank you.
Finally, I'd like to say a few thank yous. My first is to all my great friends who have been there for me whenever I needed them. Particular thanks to Tahila, who's encouraged me when I needed her. On behalf of Charles and myself, I'd like to thank the teachers and staff at Queen Ethelburgers, because they have helped us both to become competent in every way. The teachers in Chapter House are special. I'd say a big thank you to them for helping us grow into the people we are. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has come today, as you have all come here to support the students and to celebrate what we have achieved in so many different areas of our school life. Good luck to you as you all move into another year group and take on all the new and exciting challenges that this school has to offer you. Make the most of it. Thank you.
I would first of all like to say that writing this speech has probably been one of the most stressful things I've done. I've been worrying about this moment all year, and my friends constantly reminding me every day has definitely made me even more pessimistic. It's so difficult to sum up what has been a roller coaster of a year in just one speech. Whether you joined in year 6 or if you joined this year, I'm sure everyone can agree that this academic year was a difficult yet exciting one at that. Throughout my 5 years at QE, I have seen the school grow and get even more complicated. I've been lost numerous times and still continue to do so. I'm learning new things every day. I've met so many people and discovered so many cultures thanks to the diversity of this amazing school. I look forward to seeing everyone next year and making new friends whilst maintaining my current friendships. I honestly don't know what I would do without my close friends, and I'd like to thank them for always making me laugh and making most of my memories here. I also cannot forget to thank everyone in the prefect team. My role as head girl wouldn't be possible without you. When I joined QE in year 5, I was quite honestly overwhelmed with how massive the school was, coming from a state school. One of the funniest memories I have is going to collect oranges for everyone during break and returning to find out everyone had already left. I ran all the way to my next lesson, which was PE, only to discover nobody was there either. Miss Edgar found me dramatically crying in the main entrance of Genesis. It turns out everyone had just gone inside as it was raining. In year 6, all my lessons were in different rooms, and I wasn't accompanied by a teacher everywhere I went. Although I can't remember getting lost, I remember everyone getting very stressed about trying to keep a fake baby alive during the baby project. This project resulted in the baby being dropped. In year 7, King's Magna Choir consisted of 4 people. All I can say is the choir festival was a quiet yet enthusiastic one at that for King's Magna. And look at it now. One of my fondest memories in year 8 was at the end of the year, when we were all taken to an indoor ski slope, which ended up with me falling over multiple times and my skis somehow twisting all the way around. I was very cold on the way back home. This year, I learned during the Duke of Edinburgh trip that leaving 8 to 14-year-olds to look after themselves in the great outdoors proved to be more difficult than it sounds. By the end of the first day, we were already at the point of murdering each other. Not to mention the disaster that was the cooking. The uncooked rice was an interesting meal. Some of my favourite memories take place in the King's Theatre. Performing on stage has required generous amounts of dedication. In spite of not enjoying it at the time, one of my favourite memories, which all the drama students still laugh about, is the fire alarm that sounded before the Phantom of the Opera performance, in December might I add. It was freezing, and the entire cast ended up huddled together outside the theatre. Although today is an ending, we shouldn't forget to remind ourselves that endings don't have to be sad. Whilst I'm not ashamed to admit that I cry every time I watch Toy Story 3, it's not because I'm upset, but because it's such a fitting and touching ending to one of my favourite animated trilogies ever. And we should look at today in a similar way. There may be tears, laughter, a whole range of emotions, but not because we're heartbroken, but because we're reminiscing about a time at King's Magna with fondness. There have been rough times, but above everything, as a year group, we have all persevered when we've needed to. I'd like to finally, personally thank Mr. Turner and Miss Flaherty for supporting me during this year and never forgetting to offer biscuits in meetings. My regards also go to my 5 fantastic form tutors for King's Magna and Chapped House. Mr. Walker, Mrs. Hunter-White, Miss Muir, Miss Howcroft, and Mrs. Speck. Thank you for always being trustworthy teachers to help me when I needed it, and for putting up with me for these past years. Thank you.
We would now like to introduce our guest speaker. Sir Gary Verity, born in Leeds, is a passionate Yorkshireman in both life and business. He is an award-winning Dales sheep farmer, chair of the Heritage Lottery Fund Yorkshire and Humber Committee, and chief executive of Welcome to Yorkshire. He is well known for his inspirational leadership supporting businesses, and he led the successful campaign to bring the grand depart of the 2014 Tour de France to Yorkshire. Sir Gary was awarded an honorary doctorate by the University of York, and in 2015 he was appointed a Knight Bachelor for services to tourism. Last year, he was made a Cavalier of the National Order of Merit by the President of France. This was in recognition of bringing the Grand Depart to Yorkshire. Please may I ask you to show your appreciation for Sir Gary Verity.
Thank you very much indeed. I recognise most of that. I should just clarify one thing. I am not an award-winning Dale sheep farmer. The sheep won the awards, not me. Wow, what a great morning. What a great morning. I think your students are amazing. I think you deserve another round of applause. Congratulations. And students, I think your parents, grandparents, guardians, and teachers deserve a round of applause too, don't you? I love your school song. Whoever chose the school song, well done. It is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? The lyrics of that song say everything you need to know, I think. Because I think it was Napoleon Hill who said, excuse me, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can achieve. And that's exactly what your school song is saying. Whatever you set your mind to, you can go on and do. Whatever you set your mind to. So in 2010, I had this crazy idea to bring the world's largest annual sporting event to Yorkshire. And some of you will be thinking, why on earth did you do that every time you're stuck behind a cyclist now? It's my fault. But we got in touch with the people who organised the Tour de France in Paris and said, we'd like you to bring your event to Yorkshire. They'd never heard of Yorkshire. They were very polite. But we spent quite a bit of time persuading them that this would be the right place for their event. The Tour de France is the longest, the hardest, the toughest bike race in the world. Started in 1903 to help sell newspapers for a failing newspaper. It was a journalist, Gilles Lefebvre, who went to his editor of L'Auto newspaper, Henry de Grange, and said, I've got an idea how we can sell more copies. The newspaper was going out of business. Cycling was proving very popular at the time, but there were large endurance races, Paris-Nice, Paris-Brest, but nothing on the grand scale of a grand tour. And he said, let's start a bike race around France for 3 weeks. We'll go all around France and we'll finish in Paris. And in 1903, if you wanted to get the news, it's not like today, you had to buy a newspaper. Within 3 years, L'Auto had put all of its rivals out of business and had turned around its fortunes as a newspaper. And here's your trivia question for today. Why does the Tour de France have a yellow jersey? The maillot jaune. It's really simple, because L'Auto was printed on yellow paper. It was a marketing ploy to help sell newspapers. Marketing. Very clever thing, marketing. These beautiful flowers on the stage. Can you see these beautiful flowers on the stage? Do you know the definition of a flower? It's a weed with a marketing budget. Have that one on me. So we set about persuading the French that Yorkshire was the right place for their great event. It's the largest annual sporting event on the planet. It's the third largest annual event. It's the third largest event in the world. The largest event in the world is the Olympic Games. The second largest event in the world is the FIFA World Cup. Now, who got a prize for soccer? Somebody's a very good soccer player. Where are you? Sam, is that you? Hello. When you're playing in the World Cup in about 10 years' time, can I have a ticket, please? Can you remember me? Okay, is that a deal? We're on. Yeah, I've got a lot of witnesses. And the third largest event is the Tour de France. It is massive. It is watched by 3.5 billion people around the world every year. It is live in 195 countries on television. It's truly, truly remarkable. It is covered in person, by 2,500 journalists from around the world. Why should the French have allowed us to have it here in Yorkshire? Why? Because we have a strong cycling history and heritage. We have all the ingredients that you need for a great event. We have all the ingredients for a great bike race. Stunning scenery, outstanding backdrops, 3 national parks, 7 great and regenerated cities, a stunning coastline, one of the most beautiful coastlines anywhere in Europe. 9 race courses, 7 Michelin star restaurants, 200 breweries, more breweries than anywhere else in the UK, 40 gin distilleries now. I should declare an interest of sorts. So, we set about persuading the French, but they'd never heard of Yorkshire. We tried them with everything. We tried them with the Brontes. We tried them with Henry Moore, Barbara Hepworth, the Kaiser Chiefs, Leeds United, cricket. They'd never heard of cricket. Everything we tried. Yorkshire puddings. They'd never heard of Yorkshire puddings. I was in one meeting in Paris, and one of them turned round to me and said, "Le petit chien, c'est vous." I said, "I beg your pardon?" He said, "Le petit chien, c'est vous." Le Yorkshire. Le Yorkshire. I got the iPad out, got up an image of a Yorkshire Terrier. I showed him this. I said, "You mean this one?" He said, "Yes, it's you." I said, "Okay, it's me." We know Yorkshire. We know Yorkshire. The most popular small dog in France is a Yorkshire Terrier. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I can tell you anybody who's anybody in France has at least one Yorkshire Terrier. So my message to all of the students, no matter what great things you go on to achieve in life, and you will, always remember you will be known from this county around the world for a small yapping dog, often with a bow in its hair. That is a great leveler for you. Whatever great things you go on to do, just remember the dog will always be more famous than you. And then we started to be cooking with gas with them about that. And we told them about our cycling history and heritage. Walter Grieve. Let me briefly tell you the story of Walter Grieve. Walter Grieve, in 1936, Walter was from Bradford. He'd moved to Skipton. And Walter was a cyclist. And Walter set out to break the world record for the most number of miles cycled in a year that had been held for 3 years by an Australian who'd set the world record in Australia, cycling around velodromes in good weather in Australia. Walter set off in Yorkshire to break the world cycling record. He wasn't totally organized. The bike that he was going to use didn't arrive until the 5th of January. So he lost 5 days at the start of his world record attempt. It was one of the worst winters on record. He fell off 19 times in the first 3 days, cycling through snow and ice. But Walter persevered. He never gave up. He never gave up. And in 1936, Walter cycled 45,500 miles around the UK. 45,500 miles in 1936. Not on a bike like some of us have today, on a bike in 1936. But you know the most amazing thing about Walter, and the most amazing thing about this story, is Walter had something that many people would have said was a handicap, but not in Walter's mind. Walter only had one arm. He'd lost one arm in a motor vehicle accident as a child. And so he cycled 45,500 miles hanging on in ice and snow with only one hand. The handlebar on this side had to be adapted for him to rest what was left of his arm on it. What the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can achieve. Your school song is right. Your school song is right. Beryl Burton, one of the finest female athletes ever from Leeds, from Morley near Leeds. Beryl Burton set 12 world records. Some of them still survive today. She beat men in mixed bike races. She cycled up alongside the British male champion in one mixed bike race and offered him a sweet before dropping him and winning the race. Her daughter, who lives in Ripon, said to me, Mum wasn't trying to be cheeky by offering him a sweet. She just thought I better make polite conversation with him as I came alongside him. And I had some licorice all sorts in my back pocket. And I said, "Would you like one?" And the story got turned round by journalists who were trying to distort the story and say that she was trying to take the mickey out of him by offering him a sweet. She was just being kind and considerate. Kind and considerate. Your school song is right. Lily May, where are you? You're over there somewhere. Oh, you've changed sides. What a great speech. Well done. And Grace, where's Grace gone? Put your hand up. Put your hand up there. Great speech as well. Well done. So the French gave us the honour of having the Tour de France, and then we had to educate the people of Yorkshire about what this was. My wonderful team at Welcome to Yorkshire did hundreds of road shows to communities, to round tables, to sports associations, to businesses, to schools, all around the county. One of the first ones we did was in Harrogate. It was fantastic. We had 100 people turn up in Harrogate to hear what the Tour de France was, what it meant for them and their town, and what they could do and what they couldn't do about it. And a nice lady came up to me afterwards and she said to me, "Excuse me, young man," which I thought was marvellous. She said, "Excuse me, young man." She said, "Can I say thank you?" I said, "Yes, absolutely. What for?" She said, "I've learned something new tonight." Oh, I said, "Thank you very much." She said, "If you don't mind me asking, what is it?" She said, "Well, I didn't realise it was a bike race," which I thought was so wonderfully Harrogate. I said, "May I ask what you thought it was?" She said, "I thought it was a promotion of French regional wines and cheeses." But we did road shows all over the place. And that inspired people to come up with the idea. We didn't come up with the idea to hang up yellow bikes everywhere. And now for the Tour de Yorkshire, blue bikes and yellow bikes everywhere. Everywhere. And we've now created our own bike race, we being the people of Yorkshire, which is now one of the biggest bike races in the world. You saw this year over 2.5 million people watch the most stunning edition of the Tour de Yorkshire with two fantastic winners of the men's race and the women's race. And I'm really proud of what we, the people of Yorkshire, have done for women's cycling. We've transformed sport. We pay 36% more prize money for the women than the men, deliberately so, to help move the dial. We're the only bike race in the world where the women's bike race has full live television coverage from the start of the stage to the finish of the stage. Remarkable. And the women ride the same parcours as the men, the same starts, the same finish, the same intermediate sprints, the same classified climb. And we had a summit finish this year at the top of the Cow and Calf in Ilkley, an iconic Yorkshire finish for both the women and the men. And people said to me, it couldn't be done. You can't finish a women's bike race at the top of something as steep as the Cow and Calf. Let me tell you, the pack for the women's race stayed together much more than the pack for the men's race. Remarkable, isn't it? What the mind of man or woman can conceive and believe, they can achieve. Your school song is right. So I salute you with all of your achievements. I hope you enjoy the cycling and all the other things we're involved in. I've just come from the Great Exhibition of the North up in Newcastle Gateshead. For those of you who heard me on the Today programme this morning, you also are early risers. Well done. Sorry if I sounded a bit jaded. And for those of you who saw me on the telly last night, I'm sorry if I look a bit fatter in real life. C'est la vie, as we say in Holbeck. C'est la vie. If you have any time this summer, go to the Great Exhibition of the North. It is absolutely amazing. And I'm proud that we've been able to lead that for Her Majesty's government from Yorkshire on behalf of the whole of the north of England. But now, dear students, your time is coming. Your time is coming. I speak on behalf of all the old people here. We're going to need a rest soon. You need to take on the baton and be even better than we've managed to be. I'm sure you will be. Enjoy the rest of your speech day and have a great summer holiday. Thank you.
These are the prizes for the academic year 2017 to 2018. The year prizes. Year 1, Austin Heaton. Year 2, Lily Rock. Year 3, Zara Heaton. Year 4, Molly Place. And Year 5, Lindsay Mimi Marty.
For Year 6, Roman Lofthouse. Year 7, Ellis Bailey. In Year 8, Giovanni Zarabini. And in Year 9, Anaïs Girard.
Now the progress prizes. Year 1, Rebecca Eberl. Year 2, Ingrid Espinal. Year 3, Ella Henry. Year 4, Samuel Kither. And Year 5, Sophia Kitchen.
In Year 6, Aoife Blake. In Year 7, Ashwin Tamang. In Year 8, Hannah McQuire. And in Year 9, Igor Potselev.
The subject prizes for art in Chapter House, Jessica Merritt.
And And in King's Magna, Catalina Wardman.
For computing in Chapter House, Nana Asamandu.
And in King's Magna, Talia Robinson.
Design Technology, Abishre Limbo.
And Joelle Cockeye-Brown.
For Drama, Jack Bennett.
And Sarah Dean.
The English Award goes to Samuel Hartrath Shute.
And Catherine Smith.
The Geography Award goes to Namyo Limbo.
And Jessica Ferguson.
The History Award goes to Luke Reeder-Budd.
And Vijan Gurung.
For Mathematics, Ruby Wilkinson.
And Rachel Lamb.
Modern Foreign Languages goes to Piper Tupper.
And Dorina Levitska.
The Music Award goes to Marcy Bailey.
And Tim Head.
The Science Award goes to Sebastian Lee.
And Francesco Tilotta.
The Boys Sports Award goes to Joshua Tynan.
And Miles Jackson.
The Girls Sports Award goes to Lara Haig.
And Ella Richardson.
And this year's special awards. The Head Girls Prize goes to Lily May Horn.
And Grace Quinn.
head boys prize goes to Charles Berger.
And Nitesh Thapa.
For commitment to extracurricular, Eloise Lee.
And Mariani Teragabeki.
The Hill Standard Award, to be the best that I can with the gifts that I have, goes to Hannah Crabe. And together.
And Leon Lim. Finally, the Todd Crooks Memorial Prize is awarded this year to Harrison Moody.
Eagerly awaited, the winners of the House Cup this year for Chapter House is Darwent.
And the winner of the House Cup for this year for King's Magna is Eothwick.
That concludes the prizes for the academic year 2017 to 2018.
On behalf of everyone at Chapter House and King's Magna, I would like to say a big thank you to Sir Gary Verity for taking the time to be with us today. You have informed, entertained, and inspired us all. I would also like to give special thanks to all the teachers who throughout the year have guided and supported us, making learning enjoyable and fun. On behalf of the boarders, I would like to thank the boarding staff for their kindness, support, and patience throughout this year. Please give a round of applause for all of the Chapter House and King's Magna staff, and also for my fellow students for working hard to achieve so much this year. Thank you.
fall over the step. We would like to thank you all for coming. This brings to an end our speech day. All the prize winners will leave first to have their photographs taken after the stage party. After this, all of them, the prize winners, will be brought to the marquee for parents to meet. All the students will leave the sports hall straight after the prize winners. Chapter House students will go straight back to Monarch's Hall, where parents can pick them up. The King's Magna students will meet their parents in the marquee. Now please stand for our platform party's departure.